All right, good morning, everybody. It's Mike. Thanks for jumping on here with me today. Hey, a question for you. You know what great businesses and business people do? You know what they do? I think they attract and they retain customers. That's what they do. And how do they do that? Well, they develop raving fans. They turn their customers into walking billboards for them. Their customers become passionate advocates. I see it all over the place. In fact, a guy named Tom Peters wrote a book called In Search of Excellence. Now, it was written quite a while ago, but it's as relevant today as when it came out decades ago. If you have never read or listened to In Search of Excellence, do yourself a favor and read the book. And in the book, Mr. Peters talks about how different examples of how businesses have turned their customers into raving fans and walking billboards. And I think we see it all around us today. Here in our office last week or two, we had a debate about Apple versus Android phones. And what I found coming away from that is the Apple users are usually pretty passionate Apple users, and they'll argue with you. And the Android users are equally not as passionate about their Android product. They usually are hating on Apple. I just find it interesting how passionate people are around the Apple products. Look at your own life. Do you drink soft drinks? I bet you have a particular brand of soft drink that you are passionate about. I bet if you're a Diet Coke drinker, you're not drinking Diet Pepsi. And when you find yourself in situations where you have to, you're slightly disappointed. That's what I bet. Some of your beer drinkers are the same way. Great businesses attract and retain customers. Last week we had our top agent retreat. We call it Connectivity 2022. And we had it at the Greystone Inn Resort at Lake Toxaway in North Carolina. And we go there for a lot of different reasons. But I'm going to share a story with you, and I want you to apply it to your business. So the first night, last Tuesday night, we had a dinner, and we had the dinner set up out on the top of their boathouse, which was a large deck. Sits out on the water. We had a nice tent over it. We had music, a musician out there, and the inn prepared dinner for everybody. It was really very nice, I thought. Except we ran into a problem. Their chef had underestimated the amount of food needed to serve all of us, and they came up, by my count, about 13 people short. So we had to wait a while for more food to be prepared, and that was annoying. And if you know me well, you know I get pretty anal retentive about that stuff. We're spending a lot of money there, and I want things to be right for everybody. So I'm trying to be relaxed and have fun, and I don't want to make other people feel stressed. At the same time, I'm ready to kill somebody. So we dealt with that Tuesday night with the management for the resort, and here's what they said to me. Now, they could have gone a lot of different ways, and I'm not sure that they didn't believe that they were not in the wrong, let's say. I got a little whiff that they thought we might have given them the wrong count of people, that somehow this might have been my fault. But it's not the response pattern that they took with me. Here's the response pattern they took with me. Mr. Pruitt, this is all our fault. We're very embarrassed and we're very apologetic, and you will not spend $1 for dinner tonight. And I said, well, that's over the top. I don't expect you to do that. We had 35 people, 36, 37 people who did get dinner, and it was fine, and the setting was great. There were 13 people that were delayed, and there were some other miscellaneous things that weren't just right. But I think crediting me the entire cost of the dinner is over the top. That's not called for. But I would like an accommodation for the 13 dinners that didn't turn out the way we expected them to. And they were very appreciative that they weren't going to have to eat thousands of dollars in food cost and labor cost because of a very simple mistake that anybody could make. Okay. But here's what I think was going on with them. Why did they offer to credit me the entire cost of the dinner? That was thousands of dollars because of this. Because we've been there before. This was our third consecutive year. They want us to come back. They want us to bring 40 to 50 people again next year. And they know that ultimately the cost of that dinner is very small compared to our loyalty and our return. What they generated inside me by making a very generous offer was, no, it's okay. I mean, I don't expect the entire dinner to be comped. I appreciate the offer. I love people that own their mistakes. Let's come up with something that's much more reasonable and fair for both sides. And let's get it right tomorrow night, which they did. They did an awesome job the next night. And we had tons of food left over. And then Jane stopped by on Thursday morning and made plans for us to return in July of next year. And next year we will have even more rooms because you're going to sell more homes this year and more people will be going on the thing. And who ultimately wins from that? Well, I guess we do. I guess we do because it's a nice place. I think most people had a very good time. But I think the resort wins big time because now they have a full resort next year already booked, already reserved. What'd they have to do? What was the cost to do that? 13 dinners. What they did in the process was they turned me into a raving fan. See, I tell the story. I'm not trying to cover it up. I'm not still mad at them. I'm not mad at them at all. I think they made a mistake and they made it right to the best they could. And the next night they made it an even better experience. Would I tell other people to go there? Absolutely. Am I a walking billboard for them? Absolutely. Am I a passionate advocate for that resort? If it comes up in conversation, if I have a friend that's saying they're thinking about going away for a little retreat for their business or their family, would I recommend and strongly advocate the Greystone Inn Resort? Absolutely. What do you have to do to get your customers to feel that way and be that way with you? You have to be willing to lose. Even if you're not wrong, you have to be willing to lose. Just like the resort was with me. We're willing to lose here, even though we might not be the ones at fault, but we're being willing to lose. And you have to be generous. You have to be generous to a fault, to the point that it hurts. Why? Because you want people's return business. You want their loyalty. Imagine that you were to go to a restaurant tonight and you had a poor experience at the restaurant. They can't wind back the clock and undo it. It wasn't their goal for you to have a bad experience, but a good business will acknowledge the poor experience that you had with them. The restaurant would probably comp your dinner. Why would they do that? Even if you were an unreasonable customer, why would they do that? Because they want you to come back and they want you to bring somebody else with you. And they want you in conversations to be a passionate advocate for their business. Then they don't have to buy their commercials. They just turn their customers into walking billboards for them. Folks, if you want to grow and sustain a strong real estate business, be willing to lose, be willing to own it. Don't always be trying to defend yourself and prove that you're not wrong in this situation. Be willing to lose. And then be generous. How generous? Till it hurts. The resort was willing to comp me the entire cost of dinner Tuesday night, which would have cost them thousands of dollars. I didn't want them to do that. I just wanted to reach a reasonable accommodation, and I wanted them to get it right for the rest of our stay. And we reached that conclusion, and we'll be going back next year, and I hope you'll be going back with us. And by doing this, the Greystone Inn Resort and us, we're going to go out and we're going to make it happen for ourselves each day.